Ladies, lovely to have you here. Does this still feel just very normal?
Hello, everybody.
We were standing back there going, isn't this funny?
Yes, very funny. It's
Does
funny
it feel funny
doors as
sitting in
well.
those seats?
It feels really nice because it feels like I'm not driving the bus.
Yeah.
Because obviously
yes, of
sitting where
course.
Christine is, she's driving the bus, and I'm just
Sometimes.
a passenger.
I used to have Sherrie here.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I was here and you...
Always.
Always trying to have the last word.
I did have the last word, Janet. Always.
Well, that's because you never ever stop talking.
This is
did
true.
you?
She saw me coming. She saw me coming.
Does that mean you
Don't
need
use
Sherrie
the swear
for your-
words.
No, I won't use the swear word, but she saw me coming in a taxi today.
The poor man looked absolutely traumatised. All I could see was her chatting, and he's like that. Like, I've got another fare, please get out the car.
So does that mean then for the talkathon, it's just Sherrie?
Yeah, 25 hours.
Exactly.
She went, will you get out the car?
Yeah.
But it wasn't, you know, it was all very... Like, watching the VT there, it was lovely seeing all of those very, very happy memories. But we were joking earlier, Janet and Sherrie, you used to just... If you disagreed, you properly disagreed, didn't you?
We had
Disagreed.
terrible arguments.
Arguments. And we used to tell each other as well, didn't we? We can't do that nowadays, Janet.
Yes, we're absolutely at each other's throats.
Oh, yeah.
And then the show would end, we were pals.
Oh, yeah. We used to go for a drink together, didn't we?
And do you remember the worst thing we had to do was play hockey against some Olympic team? Whose idea was
Oh,
that?
but I forgot about that.
You were so hopeless.
Oh, yes, I was.
Do you remember, each of you, like, your first day on the show and how you felt?
Well, I remember being so scared because obviously I was still doing the weather at GMTV back then, and I swear I was only given the job because it meant I just had to come down in the lift and then just start a new one. And I just remember being really nervous because Amy was she was 12 weeks old. She's 18 now. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Amy's 18 now. I remember being really nervous.
I wasn't.
No.
At all.
Well, you didn't know where you were, that's
It
why.
didn't matter to me. I wasn't nervous at all. I just thought, this is fun, and fell off my chair, didn't I? No,
Look at you.
Oh, what is that hair? What? Honest, really, seriously.
That was severe hair, wasn't
I mean,
it?
I really had every hair, and I can't believe it, didn't I? It was different colour every
It was
week.
an unforgiving decade,
Oh, it was.
fashion-wise.
Unforgiving.
We were just talking earlier about unlikely friendships, and Brenda was saying how suddenly, you know, when you're lucky enough to work with people with people that you may never have met in life, and you become sort of just bonded. And we all have that, and I'm sure you have very fond memories of those moments too.
Of course.
Just becoming, you know, a really proper little female team. We're very, very blessed to have that.
And then that's something else we were talking about just before we came on. Just that we formed such amazing friendships. We would go out. We had adventures. You know, because I was here 13 years. You were here for 16. You know, on and off.
And also, we used to go out and have a few drinks.
We did. We'd have a few Sherrie.
And sometimes more than necessary. But look at that! You see, I'm a fairy up a tree. And, it was and it had a big spike in the middle. I'm going to tell you, I've never got over it. But anyway, yes, we did, and.
Sherrie, something that loose women are really good at is launching different campaigns. And there was a campaign that was launched, Find Sherrie a Man.
That wasn't a campaign. That lasted a decade.
It actually really did.
Has it been successful?
Oh, it was just ridiculous.
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Didn't you meet someone on a train or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's four of them. One took me to the zoo to look at the monkeys. Thought that was a bit unnecessary. And then I don't know where the other two. And then the other one took me on the Orient Express.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, you say that.
Oh.
We got there. We got on. And we went all the way to Clapham Junction and back.
No.
How romantic.
It was just awful. And I remember the guy saying to me, he said, because he said, I know how old you are, which I'm not going to say now, but he said, you're two a penny, you lot, at your age. And I went, what did you just say? You've just said it to the wrong person. He said, yeah, but, you know, women of your age, you're all looking for, you know. I went, and I nearly went, this is my age, mate. And I just got my drink and spilt it on the table, which went all over his trousers. And I thought... And he went, you just... I went, yes, that's what women of my age do.
It
Not
didn't
a bit,
work,
it didn't work.
did it?
No, still not working. I'm still
Is
not.
it not
no,
working?
I know.
Oh.
16 years now.
Oh.
I know, but that's because of Reg Holsworth in Coronation Street. And I saw him naked and...
This is another part of what the show is, isn't it? Because we share parts of our lives. And I know, Andrea, I remember us talking about this even when I started, and you had said in those sort of very early days, it's sometimes difficult to share very personal parts of your life. And I know that you really felt that.
Exactly, because when you work as a broadcaster, you work as a presenter, you're quite used to coming on and you interview people and you hear about their lives. This is unique. It's unlike any other presenting job because you had to give of yourself. And the first few times, like, why do you want to know what I think about this? And then you kind of got used to it. And actually, I am so grateful that I ended up working on the show because so many layers. One, I had, you know, so much fun. But also, you learn to sit amongst people that don't feel the same way that your friendship group do. So you hear all these different opinions. It broadens your mindset. And then, like you say, Janet, afterwards you were like, that was it's a bit robust, but that was brilliant. Still disagree with you, but I think you're great. You know, and that's how it should be. And that, you know, I think more people should open their minds.
And all our children grew up together, didn't they, really?
Yeah.
My Keely's 40 now. And the most beautiful, and my backbone. She is my backbone. And, oh, there she is. Oh, beautiful girl. And my grandchildren, and they all came together, didn't they? We all had children together, and and they grew up with us as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
still around now.
Yeah.
It's lovely to be with them and know that we can look back on these memories.
Yeah.
You know?
And are they watching Hollyoaks?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's where you're back
well,
tonight with
I'm
that.
a serial killer in Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
And as Colin
I can
knows,
see that.
that's probably the right place for me to be.
Absolutely.
And there was a few people I could... Anyway, let's not go down that line. But yes, it's a fabulous place to work. Everybody's so lovely and so friendly and so kind to me. It's just gorgeous. It's an hour away from where I live, so it's lovely. And it's... to be a serial killer is something that I think we would all relish sometime in our lives. Wouldn't we, Colleen?
I've never really thought about it.
Well, now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, now I'm sitting next to you.
Yeah. Some sad news yesterday as trailblazing author Barbara Taylor Bradford passed away at the age of 91. Barbara released 40 novels in her incredible career, including A Woman of Substance. Barbara famously wrote about very strong women, just like her. She said, "I'm strong. That doesn't mean I'm tough or hard, but I have the strength to meet adversity, but not give in." To talk about strength, it's an interesting thing to say that you feel strong, you are strong. It's interesting where it comes from as well. I know, Sherrie, your mum sort of instilled a strength in you.
My mum was formidable, I have to tell you. And I was quite scared of her when I was young because she was so powerful. But she had steel right through her, which I've now got. And my daughter, my beautiful Keely, has got, and my granddaughters. And it set us up for the world. So I've had to be powerful and strong all my life, and I've had to get through every single day, and I'm still doing. So the strength in me comes from my mum, and I'm just hoping that all my girls in my family take that on board and live their life the way I've lived it. I'm a survivor, and I survive everything. So that's what strong means. But it doesn't mean that you're weak. You know, it doesn't. You can cry and you can do all that. So you have the weakness. But what I'm saying is, I just shut the door, have a cry, open the door, and go, "I'm back." That's how you do it, don't you? We all do. All the ladies know about that.
Yeah, because it's important to be vulnerable as well, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you know, I'm not scared of being vulnerable, but I don't necessarily show it outwardly, which probably I should do a bit more. But, you know, Barbara Taylor Bradford, for me, I read that novel all those years ago, and I watched the depiction of it when they made it into a series, and I sat and I cried watching it because it was... I kind of... You know, I looked at it as a woman that's been through so much and you know, we try to smile in the face of adversity all the time. Well, that's what I try to do, and I think I've got my strength has come from having my children, and that's, you know, you really have to sort of, like, duck her down and you're responsible for these little people. So I think that's where I've got my strength from.
What about Andrea? I've always seen you as strong.
It's interesting because, you know, and you think, who inspires you to be strong? And you don't realise how much like your mother you are, obviously, until you get older. And I think I am very much like my mum, is that I'm quiet. People might think quietness equals weakness, but not at all, you know. And I've been knocked down very many times in life, most of the time while I've been here in Loose Women, so you all know my stories. You know, and you have your moment, like Sherrie says, where you shed a few tears, you pick yourself up and go, right, onwards and upwards. You know, you just have to keep going. And for me, that's what strength is. It's an inner thing, and it can be quiet, but also incredibly strong.
But don't you think sometimes as well it can be a burden? Because sometimes you know, I think I've been quite strong with things that have been thrown at me, but sometimes I just think I don't want to be strong.
I have moments where I think, can I be the one that lays on the floor and cries and thrashes about, and everyone goes, oh, they're there.
Be strong for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm tired, you know, or sometimes you put on this persona of gliding across the lake, but actually underneath you're paddling.
I think the other thing is, as far as I'm concerned, people always say to me, you're so strong. But the thing is, what I do know is when to call it a day, when to stop doing something. I think a sign of strength is to work out, don't carry on doing this, it's not working for you, it's not going to benefit your life, and stop doing it. So I think true strength is saying, you know, it's not about winning all the time, it's not about scoring points, it's not about having the last word, it's about getting out before it's bad for you. And I think, you know, women need to take that on board, because there's a lot of pressure on women now to succeed and do and achieve more and more and more and more. And I feel like saying to them, you can't do it all. Give up on some things and focus on the things that are the most rewarding.
You might upset someone by taking that personal choice, but you've got to have the strength to know it's the right choice for me, and that's almost a big part of that strength in a weird way, I think, Joanna.
And it can cause loneliness too. You know, people get very lonely, and if you can be as strong as you like, and you can fight for your family, you can fight for everybody. When you shut that door at night and you're on your own, that's all you've got. You've got four walls and you, and there is nothing else, and that causes loneliness. And yes, you come out the next day and you're strong, but it's so disturbing, because I know so many people who are on their own and they really need somebody to help them.
Absolutely.
That's where the show comes in.
It is, exactly.
Absolutely.
Ladies, thank you.